What is going on, everybody? What is going on, the Catch fam? It's Steven here. And in today's stream, we are going to do a live reaction to my boy Daniel Jeremiah's 1.0 2022 mock draft. Just as a little prelude, I guess, I just dropped my first full complete mock draft a couple other days ago. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. It's pretty rough, right? We're obviously in the early stages. The final draft order isn't even fully submitted. So I understand Daniel Jeremiah is also behind the ball a little bit. He took some pretty wild shots out there too. There were a couple guys that I wasn't expecting to go so early, right? So it was pretty fun. It was pretty out there. Definitely gonna be cool to break it down with you guys. Jeremiah is for sure a dude that I have a ton of respect for. This guy is one of my favorite analysts in the game, the apprentice to Mike Mayock, who obviously went to the Las Vegas Raiders, and now he might be joining the NFL Network crew again. But for a little background, just kind of on why I am interested in mock drafts and the college prospect process, Mike Mayock and Daniel Jeremiah, I think, are like the two main reasons for that. And they're the main reasons that I am interested in this whole process, right? So with that said, what the main purpose of today is not here to come here and shit on his picks for sure, but it's also just to get a look at like how some of the experts are thinking about some of these prospects and comparing them a little bit to what I had in terms of where I thought some of these guys were going to go. But with that said too, I think we should just get right into it. Let's not take any more time and let's get into this. Let's get into the mock draft reaction, guys. So up first, we have got the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously on the clock. So it's going to be a fun one for sure to see what they do here. I actually had them in my most recent mock draft going Aiden Hutchinson, the edge rusher from Michigan. I will say this, right? The number one reason for why Daniel Jeremiah was so interested in Evan Neal here is to bolster up Trevor Lawrence, young quarterback with so much promise, a lot of potential. He had struggles his first year for a lot of reasons, but a lot of that too was just he was taking an absurd amount of pressure. I think Evan Neal, with that body, that build, is going to be able to really solidify that O line. And when I was listening to Jeremiah's breakdown of this mock draft too, it was kind of interesting because he talked a lot about how the new GM Trent Baalke was very close with the old Giants and Cowboys legend Bill Parcells, who had a lot of interest in taking O lineman early. So he kind of like took a little bit of a symbolism to that and thought that maybe that is what they would do there. I would not be surprised at all. I know in future mock drafts, I'm going to be more and more likely to lean Evan Neal or maybe even Icky at number one for the Jags, because these two pass rushers are very strong, obviously in Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, but there's a ton of other guys too, right? Going to number two, Detroit, very easy pick. I like that pick as well. If they do go tackle, the Jags go tackle first pick. I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a for sure snag by the Detroit Lions here. Home body, Michigan native. He's going to slide right into Detroit. Perfect fit. This is probably like the most ideal situation in the top five that this could go down, is for Aiden Hutchinson to come in here and join Dan Campbell. Very, very similar culture type of player. He obviously had the massive game against Ohio State, but this is a dude who all year long is the top pass rusher and really proved that he deserves to be a top five pick. Jerry, I see you up in here. What is up, man? Yeah, getting you with an early stream. What is it over there in Cali time right now? What is it? Shoot, 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.? Damn, bro, I woke up late today. I woke up mad late today, Jerry. But hey, this stream right here is all because of you. So mad credit to Jerry. Guys, for anybody else watching this, either right now or retrospectively, if you ever want me to do a mock, it's kind of like a mock of a mock draft, reacting video to somebody else's mock draft, let me know. I also do my own mock drafts, which I'll be kind of pumping out 1 to 2 a week. Closer we get to the season. I know I will be doing another one next week as well. Number three, this is kind of the first real, I don't know, pivot, you could say, with the Houston Texans going Kyle Hamilton, the badass safety for Notre Dame. Love this dude, and he tried to allude a lot to the fact that this is a Texans team which has a lot of uh, culture guys. Obviously, the old pastor from New England leading this helm, and they've got a couple other front office guys that from the New England, culture and system. So he thinks that this Kyle Hamilton transition is going to be to run that two split safety defense, and Kyle Hamilton would be a big difference maker. It's going to be interesting to see what the Texans do with Justin Reed, their current safety. I didn't mind him. I thought the Texans actually they created a decent amount of turnovers for how god awful that team was. So I don't think this is a necessary pick, but certainly a pick they might go here. But I don't know. For me, I will give my a little bit of a negative reaction. I don't love this pick. I think that they would go Kayvon Thibodeau, which is where the Jets have their number 4 pick going. I think the Jets would love that. Obviously, you got Carl Lawson come back from injury. If they can either match up, Carl Lawson coming back from injury with Kayvon Thibodeau, which would be a dream. Obviously, this guy's a dominant run stopper, but also a ton of upside on his pass rush, with just that build that Myles Garrett, Mario Williams. If you guys remember that guy coming out of the draft, very similar builds. This guy's a freak. He's probably going to test really well. But if they compare him up with him or a David Ajabo, even a Karlaftis, I think that's great here. So I don't mind this pick, and I think this would be a dream scenario for the Jets. If they can get Kayvon Thibodeau here at 4, this would be a perfect way to start 2 of their first top 10 picks. Number 5, Akeem Ekonwo, OT for NC State. My favorite. This is actually becoming my favorite lineman in the draft, and this was also somebody that Daniel Jeremiah is just like. I mean, he had a boy crush on Akeem. Icky is a very, very strong offensive tackle. Some mock drafts out there, some boards are really starting to push him up to number 1. He's young, obviously a sophomore redshirt. But this guy, I mean, this dude was obviously the number 1 run blocking lineman, but he can do much more than that. He can really solidify up the passing, the outside protection. He could even slide in if you really needed him to. Just a very versatile lineman. And I think this is what I had in my mock draft the other day. It's a very, very, very good pick for the Giants because of what he could do for not only Daniel Jones, obviously, but what he could also do, more importantly, maybe even for a Saquon Barkley. Let's see here. I'm listening to this right now. There's like music blaring though. Everyone teaching and talking smack. Oh, is there music going on in the stream, guys? Let me see here. Probably because of that, if there is. John, is there stream music going on in the stream? Let me know. Let me know, my man. Anyways, number 6 here, we got Mr. Carolina Panthers going up here and taking Ahmad Gardner, corner for Cincinnati. Yeah, I don't like this pick, to be honest. This is probably, thank you, Jay Wynn. Thank you for letting me know there's no music. Saw that coming out of nowhere, and I was like, wait, what the heck? Anyways, Ahmad Gardner, corner for Carolina Panthers out of Cincinnati. I understand what he's doing here. He's kind of looking at what the Panthers have been doing over the past couple of years, which is investing heavily into young corners, young defensive players to really build up that defense, which was god awful a couple of years ago. But when you look at what the Panthers currently have, Dante Jackson, Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Horn, a very promising young prospect, and then C.J. Henderson, who they traded for midseason. That's just an amazing, amazing set of corners there. Obviously, you don't always have to draft for need. It's also just about getting the best guy available, which I think Ahmad Gardner is in this draft, the best corner. But for me personally, I know in a lot of my mock drafts, I'm going to have them going quarterback here, because Matt Rule is in a situation where he really wants to win now to keep his job. And Sam Darnold is just simply not going to do that. Number 7, they go Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. In my last mock draft, probably the biggest mistake I had, and also the thing that probably won't happen again, is letting Devin Lloyd, linebacker to Utah, slip that far. This is a very versatile, very slippery linebacker that plays off ball, but can make a ton of plays happen. I like Nakobe Dean a little bit more, linebacker for Georgia. strong leadership, but they both have strong leadership. I think both these guys could come in, change a defense day one. Not worried about that at all. I don't necessarily think this is like the absolute need for the Giants. I would much rather them take a pass rusher here. You've still got Karlaftis up there. You've still got David Ajabo up there. I would love those picks. Even better than that, I would love if they stayed O-line, but I do think Devin Lloyd would be a massive improvement to this defense to improve it, just get a little bit better. You got to obviously deal with guys like Antonio Gibson, Zeke Elliott, and that strong Eagles running game too, and keep up with even a mobile quarterback who's going to be flying around like Jalen Hurts. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons. This was another wild one. He took Treylon Burks, wide receiver for Arkansas. And don't let me say wild and it's like a negative thing. I love Treylon Burks. I think he's a very good receiver. And when he was breaking it down, he talked a lot about the parallels that he had to a guy like AJ Brown, who was, with Arthur Smith in Tennessee. And he thought maybe, you got to follow kind of what these guys like to do in the past and how they look at different prospects. I do like the AJ Brown comp. I talked about that the other day, but I also probably more put him in a Deebo Samuel fit too, just with how he was used in college and what I think he should be used as in the NFL. Just because I also see the NFL kind of going that way. But Treylon Burks, I think he could be a dominant weapon for this Falcons team. Obviously, they're going to probably have to go off of Calvin Ridley. And they have invested at the receiver position over the past couple of years, obviously bringing in a guy like Kyle Pitts, who basically does play receiver. So it sucks. I think they could really build up the O-line, really use some pass rush help, or even help out a guy like AJ Terrell and bring in Stingley or something like that at corner. I think that could be great too. But either way, I think they get a very dominant weapon here in Treylon Burks. See here, let's go back to the chat for a second. Boyd played edge a lot at Utah, so he's almost a linebacker and an edge. Yeah, Jay Wynn. I love Devin Lloyd, man. When I do my rankings for linebackers, edge, defensive interior, it's going to be really tough, man. That's like kind of the positions I'm like almost actually maybe the offensive lineman too. Those guys right there, it's just so deep. It's so rich. It's also they've got so many guys there that I kind of mock very similar to each other. So I'm a little nervous and having to break these guys up. But Devin Lloyd, man, he is fun to watch. Definitely go out and look at him. I mean, if you see some linebackers, very Devin Whitish, they're talking about maybe pairing up a Micah Parsons with either a Devin Lloyd or a Nakobe Dean. I've seen a lot of mock drafts do that recently. And you put up these linebackers together, they can change a defense day one. But man, here we go. First quarterback taken in Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pittsburgh, redshirt senior, going to the Denver Broncos. How you like that, John? How do you like about Mr. Kenny Pickett going to Denver? No more Drew Lock, no more Teddy Bridgewater. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I think this makes sense. I do think for sure that the Denver Broncos go quarterback here. I also say the same with Carolina. I would not be surprised at all, even though this is a very bad quarterback draft class in my mind. I would not be surprised at all if 2 go in the top 10, just because there's some needy teams. And if, just like in this article it states, if A-Rod, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson don't land here or any of these teams, then, I mean, they're going to be hunting for a QB. So I like what Jeremiah did here. I like Kenny Pickett. A lot of buzz that he is going to end up being kind of that one or, maybe a 1B type of quarterbacks to go off the board. I like Sam Howell too out of North Carolina, but don't hate this pick at all. Number 10, Trent McDuffie. Definitely, if you are watching this video, you might notice that Derek Stingley, corner for LSU, is slipping and sliding, and he is out of the top 10, right? This is a guy who, in a lot of mock boards, is top 4, top 5. Maybe not deserving, but he does have that type of ability where he could be a game-breaking corner, a lockdown corner coming out of LSU. But Trent McDuffie is like that too. He's a dude who can come up, he can get scrappy, he will knock your socks off. He likes to hit. Very good corner out of Washington. Washington's been pumping out corners over the past like 3-5 years now. Murphy obviously just went over to Arizona a couple years ago, and he's been just lighting it up over there in Arizona. I think Trent McDuffie is a fantastic corner, and he's going to get more buzz. The more people get to look at this guy, over the offseason, this guy is going to rise up. I got him in my number 3, kind of, but I could see him kind of jumping over to number 2. Washington football team. All right, baby. We're taking a quarterback here too in the town of Washington. Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss. I like this. I like this. Taking a little sip of my coffee. The coffee is actually not that good, to be honest. I digress for a second, guys, from the mock draft. I've been, experimenting with either coffee, espresso, pre-workout. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff, just trying to figure out what's going to get my energy fix, right? John even gave me some vitamins, which help. John, let us know in the chat what those vitamins are called. Help out the guys in the chat for some energy and focus. But been doing it all. So let me know if you've also got some recommendations, guys. Let's get back to the chat too before we keep going into number 11 and beyond. Let's see here. Got to start somewhere. Got to follow somewhere to seed someone smart. All right. I see Thrift Shop Gaming throwing some quotes. Sucks there's no stud quarterbacks in this draft. Yeah, man, it does. But, we also kind of have seen that before, and it always ends up that it's all about placement, right, John? I think you would totally agree. Wherever the quarterback ends up landing is sometimes more important than what the quarterback's raw talent is coming out of college. Sometimes it's just not the perfect opportunity for them in college. They land in a good spot and they really light it up. Kenny Pickett, for instance, didn't have a good year until his senior year, similar to, kind of like Mac Jones, Joe Burrow, guys that came in very late. And they end up blowing it up, right? So we might see something like that happen. We might see a Kenny Pickett who doesn't have a ton of film on him end up being that guy. Let's see here. Jerry, it is common for these drafts to have good quarterbacks. Yeah, I would say that a lot of these quarterbacks, typically you will see, like, I would say 3+ quarterbacks kind of have really good grades on them. But recently it's been, I don't know, a little weird. Let's see. All right. Thrift Shop Gaming. So sorry, I can hear you. That's I'm using is play like 100 max level. I think you said my name. Thrift Shop Gaming. What, John? What kind of music they playing? They playing a little early 2000s, little Eminem, Slim Shady. All right, let's get back to it. Let's get back to the picks. All right, Washington football team taking Matt Corral, Ole Miss quarterback, RPO specialist, slim body, injury history, 6'2", 205. Very good arm. Definitely would think he would give some, juice, give some upside to this Washington offense, which is kind of struggling right now with a hybrid mix of Taylor Heineke, Fitzpatrick. But I do think Matt Corral, I don't know if it would be the guy here, right? I kind of like Malik Willis out of Liberty a little bit more. I think he has an even higher upside, a little bit freakier too, better intangibles. But I do think Matt Corral is probably one of the safer quarterbacks if he's healthy. So I like this pick for Washington. I do think Matt Corral would not surprise me at all if he is a very high pick. We see Minnesota taking Derek Stingley, corner for LSU. Finally goes off the board. I would not be surprised at all if Minnesota goes up and grabs a corner, and they would be very happy to get a guy like Derek Stingley right here. He's the top blue chip prospect, I would say, at this position here remaining. So yeah, this would be great. Pair him up back there, help that secondary out, which got butchered alive last year. I mean, John and I were recommending you guys light up that secondary for fantasy every damn week. See the Browns taking Trayvon Walker, edge rusher from Georgia, very high upside player. Junior, I mean, he can play all over the line. I think that's why Daniel Jeremiah kind of liked him a little bit more than maybe some other guys that are still available, like a David Ajabo. A little bit more tape on the dude too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I totally react to this pick here. I mean, I guess it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you'll notice throughout his mock drafts, there's a lot of Georgia guys that go, and that's not totally confusing, but it's just a little weird to me. I don't think Cleveland needs that either. I mean, if they bring back Clowney, I guess that depends. I mean, you want to always have somebody on the opposite side of Myles Garrett, but if I'm them, I'm looking at receiver, man. You need Baker Mayfield to prove to you what he can do. Obviously, this draft has some guys that are definitely going to be great talents in the second round as well. But for me, I'm going up and I'm taking like a guy like Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, who's still on the board right now, or Drake London, right? Ravens going Trevor Penning, offensive tackle from Northern Iowa. I love myself some Trevor Penning. This guy is a beast for Northern Iowa. He can get it done. Think he's going to be a fantastic player in the NFL. Sure up that offensive line opposite of Ronnie Stanley. So that'll be great. Philadelphia Eagles taking George Karlaftis, edge rusher. Yeah, this was something that I didn't focus probably enough on in my most recent mock draft. Think he's going to be a great slide and play here if he can slide to the Eagles, which I do think George Karlaftis has a pretty decent chance at falling. So the Eagles, with their 3 picks right in this late teens, got a really good chance to get a guy like Karlaftis, David Ajabo, to pair him up with, a healthier Brandon Graham or Barnett, and just kind of get at the quarterback and help Fletcher Cox out too. I know Ronald was talking about maybe getting a Davis from Georgia to shore up that run D a little bit, but I like those edge rushers for sure. Philadelphia Eagles taking Drake London, wide receiver from USC, a guy that is just jumping up my man crush wave right now. I love this guy, very similar to Mike Evans in my mind, or Michael Pittman. I see here Daniel Jeremiah kind of comped him to Mike Williams. I think that's just because Daniel Jeremiah loves the LA Chargers. I think he wants to be in their front office one day, but whatever. I'm not going to give him Mike Williams comp because Mike Williams is very disappointing to me in fantasy. Number 17, Chargers go Bernard Raymond, offensive tackle. This is a big boy right here, big man. I guess it does make sense. You want to continue to bolster up the Chargers offensive line just to protect your boy Justin Herbert. But for me, I do think that run D, spot is a place that they can improve. But it wouldn't surprise me, right? Bernard is a very good offensive lineman, Austrian beast, and somebody that is kind of really jumping, getting a lot of buzz amongst a lot of mock drafters. So I wouldn't be surprised here. I think it'd be good to kind of complement Rashawn Slater, who they took last year, who ended up just being an absolute gem. And that's how you build. That's how you build winning teams, is at the line and improving your quarterback's chances of staying healthy. Number 18, New Orleans Saints take another Ohio State guy to help out Michael Thomas if he's back. Garrett Wilson, a little bit less speedy than Chris Olave, his Ohio State teammate, but probably a better after the catch guy, probably a better playmaker. Comped a lot to a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. So I do think Garrett Wilson is a pretty good prospect here, and I think he would be a fantastic slide to the New Orleans Saints. Wouldn't be surprised. I do think the Saints are probably going to go receiver here for sure. Let's see here. Number 19, Philadelphia Eagles take Kenyon Green, offensive guard from Texas A&M. I mean, I guess you can say he's offensive guard, but this guy plays tackle, guard. Shit, he could probably even play center. One of the most versatile linemen in the draft, which is why he's one of my favorite linemen in the draft, just because of how easy he is to move around. I think it's a great pick for the Eagles. I think Ronald would agree with that for sure, too. Pittsburgh Steelers taking Charles Cross, offensive tackle. I don't see this happening because I do think they're going to go out and grab a young quarterback here, maybe a Sam Howell. But Charles Cross, if he falls this far to number 20, I'd be surprised. And I think the Steelers would love to have him bolster that. New England Patriots take Jordan Davis, the old replica of a guy like Vince Wilfork, true run-stopping lion, not much in the pass rush help, but Christian Barmore is very strong against the pass rush. So I think it's a great compliment. Las Vegas Raiders take Chris Olave, wide receiver for Ohio State. Guy's going to probably run 4 threes. Very good. I think Deshaun Jackson probably on the outs. Henry Ruggs, obviously, and we all know what happened with Henry Ruggs. That's really disappointing. You got Hunter Renfrow, you got Brian Edwards, and you got a couple guys that maybe can kind of make some things happen, like say Jones. But you do need to help out whoever's at quarterback, and I think Derek Carr will ultimately stay there. So I don't mind this pick. I think it's going to open it up a little bit, add some more speed. Arizona Cardinals, David Ajabo. Finally, he goes here. I like this pick for the Arizona Cardinals taking David Ajabo. I think this would be somebody that might go earlier, maybe to the Giants because of his upside, his twitchiness and freakiness, just in getting at the quarterback. Probably the highest upside rusher. He could potentially have a pretty low floor though, so we'll see. And I am gonna start kind of running here pretty quick. I gotta start moving through these because I gotta get my hair trimmed up. Let's see here. JAC Charles Cross will be gone by then. Hell yeah, man. I think he will too, man. Dallas Cowboys, Nakobe Dean, linebacker for Georgia. My favorite linebacker in the draft. Talked about it. Yeah, some people are mocking the Dallas Cowboys going after somewhere where they're already very strong, but sometimes it's not about need. Sometimes it's just about talent. I think that'd be a great pick. Cincinnati Bengals getting probably the best center that we have seen over the past 5 years. Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. I actually had him going much earlier in my mock draft, but it wouldn't surprise me if he does slip and slide just because the center position is a little bit undervalued, kind of like the safety position. So wouldn't surprise me. And I think this would be great for Cincinnati. I would love for them to have like a Kenyon Green, a guy that can kind of fly around the line a little bit more. But Tyler Linderbaum would be a block for them going forward for such a long time. And this article talks about guys like Ryan Kelly for Indy. I mean, a great center. I know it's undervalued, but it can do a lot. Miami Dolphins taking Daniel Falel. Not a first round grade to Daniel Jeremiah when I was listening to him, but he was basically just saying you got to bolster up this offensive line. And the problem is that so many linemen are going to be going so quickly in the first round. That's like the biggest takeaway from Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft is that so many people are going to be able to go in this first round with at the OT spot, at the offensive guard spot. So you kind of just get best available, right? Buffalo Bills, Kyler Gordon, corner for Washington, another great Clemson. But corner type of university in Washington would just pumps those guys out. So I can see that, but it is interesting. I haven't seen Kyler Gordon go a whole lot in the first round, but I do think the Bills are going to target the corner position. Then Tennessee Titans taking Quay Walker, linebacker for the Georgia squad. Yeah, I do think he's going to be fantastic as well. Quay Walker is a good linebacker. Not somebody that I really expected to go in the first round either, though. It's just interesting. I do think the Titans need a linebacker. Think they could also go receiver and corner a whole lot as well. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Mike Vrabel certainly likes his guys that can fit the scheme, fit the philosophy and the culture. And yeah, this article talks about Rashaan Evans being out next year potentially. And I know when Daniel Jeremiah was talking about this guy in particular, the reason he included him was just that he felt was going to fit Mike Vrabel's scheme very well. This is another fun one. Detroit Lions taking Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty, obviously via the trade with the Rams when Jared Goff went out. I love this to a certain extent. I don't think this is what the Lions need to do. If I'm the Lions, I've got, Goff till end of 2023. I think Goff proved that he's adequate enough. And I'm looking at next year and saying Bryce Young coming out of Alabama, a couple other guys. I'm going to be able to fight for those picks there and maybe get a superstar quarterback like Bryce Young for Alabama. So I'm either trading this pick and trying to build draft capital for next year to get my franchise quarterback, or I am taking a receiver to help out my offense for the future. But Malik Willis, like I talked about earlier, I like him going to the Washington football team earlier in this draft, like top 15. So I think he's a great prospect for sure. Ton of upside, ton of energy for sure coming out of Liberty. Very fast player with a strong arm. Kansas City taking Jameson Williams. I mean, this is the NFL. You don't want to see this as a fan. You do not want to see Jameson Williams go to Kansas City because they will win every damn year. Getting Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Jameson Williams paired up. I mean, that is a nightmare. It's going to be interesting to see how far he slides because of that ACL. I know Jeremiah was kind of talking about how he didn't really know where to put him in his mock draft, but for me, I still don't think he falls to 30. He's just way too good of a prospect. This guy is an elite wide receiver. But if he does fall to some of these elite playoff teams that we're seeing, they're going to get a blessing right now. Tampa Bay taking Jahan Dodson. This is where I had Jahan going in my mock draft too. Wide receiver out of Penn State, probably the best hands in route running. And what does Tom Brady love? He loves guys that can get open, short, get open all over the field, and he's going to catch the ball that Tom Brady throws to him. That is Jahan Dotson in a nutshell. Senior, I just love this guy. They lose Chris Godwin. Hey, he's an old Penn Stater. Put in Jahan Dotson, replace him there. But I also think they're going to try to really bring back Godwin so they can have Evans, Godwin, and Jahan Dotson next year because AB ain't going to be back there. Green Bay Packers. So when I did my mock draft, Spencer talked a lot about Leo out of Texas A&M. I did more research on him too. Very flexible, versatile defensive tackle who can actually play on the outside too. So that is going to be a guy that is going to be jumping more in my mock drafts more and more these days. But, when the Packers were up on the board, I do like Devontae Wyatt, tackle out of Georgia here. This is an elite pass rusher in the middle, and Daniel Jeremiah was pretty in love with this dude. I think he took 5 Georgia players in his mock draft. So I like this. I think the Packers are definitely going to try to build at the tackle spot on the D line. That's what I'm seeing more and more out of mock drafts all over. And so I think that's probably what they're going to take, unless they go receiver, just to try to give A-Rod a little bit more to chew on and want to come back. But that's it, guys. That's all 32 of the reaction video to Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft 1.0. Really hope you guys enjoyed this. I wish I could stay on a little bit longer to talk about the playoffs, which I'm really pumped for. Going to be going over to my girlfriend's family's house and a little nervous. I might not be able to watch too much of the games, but I'm going to be trying my best. I'm going to have my phone under the dinner table. I'm going to be doing whatever. I got my Jamar Chase jersey on. That is officially the team I want to win the Super Bowl. Not the team I think is going to win the Super Bowl, but the team I want to win the Super Bowl. So I'll be rooting for them for the rest of the year now that the Colts are out of the playoffs. So hopefully they beat the Titans. John and I, we had a little bit of debate on who was going to win, but I think we settled on the Bengals. We settled on the Bucks. No. We settled on the Rams, Bengals, Packers, and Bills, right? I know me and John, really went back and forth with the Bucks though and Rams. I think John really wants to kind of have a firm grasp on the Bucks pick. So I'll let him have that. For sure. But with that said, guys, this is going to be the end of the stream. We are going to wind it down. Let me just say it was fun. I got to talk again about my boy Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft 1.0. Gonna do more of these mock drafts. Gonna do more of my own mock drafts. Gonna start pumping out my draft rankings next week as well. So keep an eye out for that. This video not only even happened, this video happened because of one of the Catch Fam Elite, Jerry, kind of dropped the article that Dan Jeremiah popped this out there, this mock draft out here. So let us know if anybody ever goes out there and releases their mock draft and you want us to review it or give our take on it. We will do that. Let us know what prospects you're interested in. We will also take a look at them and do a little bit more of like an actual breakdown on individual prospects, individual teams, whatever you guys want. We will do that for you. And guys, enjoy your cheese, enjoy your ribs, enjoy your steaks, do everything, man. And yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the Catch Fam. Come on and join the Catch Fam if you haven't already. We are on the road to 1,000 subs right now. The Catch Fam is growing. We're getting stronger, and we're trying to do everything we can to adhere to the catch, man. Tell us what you want. We'll give it out to you. I don't even care if it's about football. You want to hear about movies, TV, let us know. We did a poll recently. Who would be the best NFL player that's a current basketball player? I think it was LeBron who ended up winning just last time I checked. But Giannis had a strong take for that too, strong argument for that as well. So definitely keep voting on that. But let us know, man. Just keep out there. Keep engaged, and hope to see you out in more and more of these streams, and I will keep pumping out content for you guys. With that said, hope you had a great stream. Hope you have a great weekend, and let's beat the Bucks just so John can be wrong. All right, guys. Peace.